Buenos días. Bienvenido a la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de la Misión Shawnee. Quien quiera que eres, quien quiera que amas, donde quiera que estás en el viaje de tu vida, eres bienvenido aquí. Good morning. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this YouTube channel, this Sabbath, this sanctuary and time. We know you have so many options on Sunday morning, and that you chose to be here is something we celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to anyone who may be watching our service online for the first time. Please complete our Get in Touch form online by clicking the link below in our video description. We now invite everyone to greet each other in any way you possibly can. If you're joining us online, please say hi in the chat. We'll bump elbows here, and if you're at home, give somebody a hug, even if it's yourself. It is good to be together any way we can. We invite you to start posting your joys and sorrows in the chat area of the video space. And now Reverend Rose has a few announcements. Thank you.
Good morning. Today I have just a few announcements. Firstly, I would like to introduce you to one of our new worship musicians. We have hired two new accompanists, both of whom are actually named the same name, which is Ben. Therefore, we shall affectionately call them by their instruments. Today we have our esteemed Benjamin Munoz, aka Cello Ben, and every other week we will have Piano Ben, aka Ben Havey, whom you met last week. We are very grateful to have them here, and we're so grateful for your music, Cello Ben. As for our reopening for in-person church, please check the weekly email that comes out at the end of the week for information about next Sunday. But whenever we do come back, all eligible children will need to be vaccinated and all eligible persons will need to be boosted. Of course, masks will remain required. We are very proud of our COVID protocols here at SMUUCh. We know that isolation is not good for the soul, so we have made sure that SMUUCh is just about the safest place you can go in the metro area. Lastly, when we do reopen, we'd like to give you a heads up that one of our roadway entrances is going to be under construction. You need to just follow a more circuitous route to the parking lot, going through the administrative entrance and then taking the frontage road over to where you will park. Our opening words today come from sci-fi and Afrofuturist author Octavia Butler. She says, "All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change." Come, let us worship. Please enjoy a performance of our opening hymn, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me.
Thank you, Ben. As Kaylin Brazil comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. I think you know it, and if you miss a word or two, who's going to know? Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you, Caitlin. Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is widening the circle. When I think about widening the circle, the Buddhist metta, or loving-kindness meditation practice, comes to mind. Loving-kindness meditation has been practiced for thousands of years and is reported to have beneficial effects for the practitioner. They include, you fall asleep quicker, you sleep better, you wake up feeling well, you're not likely to have nightmares, your body relaxes and your face is joyful, your complexion brightens, your mind becomes calm, and it's even said that animals, small children, and celestial beings will be drawn to you. Whoa, sign me up, you're probably thinking. But what does loving kindness meditation have to do with widening the circle? Well, I'll tell you in a bit. The practice of loving kindness meditation involves the repetition of short, positive statements wishing loving kindness, good health, peace of mind, and happiness to others and to yourself. These short positive statements are directed, at least initially, right here. If you've attended services at SMUUCh for any length of time, you're probably already familiar with these short statements, or some variation. And they are, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. And here's where the circle comes in. A circle has to have a center, a distinct, definite center. Without a center, it wouldn't be a circle. It would be a glob of some kind. And just as a circle must have a distinct, definite center, it is difficult, if not impossible, for me to wish loving kindness for anyone if my own spiritual tank is not itself first filled with loving kindness. So loving kindness meditation starts at the center of the circle with the practitioner. Here's how you do it. Start by taking a few slow, deep breaths. Then each time you inhale, bring these phrases into your mind. Pull them in with your breath. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. The breathing in helps to focus these thoughts inward. And it also helps if you smile a little while you're doing this. This initial inward-directed focus is where the loving-kindness circle is born. And this circle, this is the circle. It is in no way selfish to begin with yourself. It is self-care in the healthiest sense of the term. However, if you are still uncomfortable using the word I, you can replace it with the word you. But imagine that the universe, with a capital U, is speaking these words to you. Or imagine that you're whispering in the ear of that small, sometimes frightened, sometimes anxious, sometimes lost child you may have been. Do this inward focus practice every day. Do it while you're out for a walk. Do it while you're standing in line at the grocery store. They'll be wondering why you're smiling. Do it when you go to bed. How long? Don't worry about that. You'll know when it's working. Then and only then, when your loving kindness tank is filled, can you begin to widen the circle. When you're ready to widen the circle of loving kindness by wishing it for others, you begin by bringing others to mind, picturing their faces and repeating for them the same wishes you wished for yourself. Take a few deep breaths, and this time, while exhaling, say or think, "May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy." The breathing out pushes your message out to others. Breathe, repeat, breathe, repeat, breathe, repeat. There's a recommended progression for widening the loving kindness circle, and it goes from this, you the practitioner, to this, your loved ones and those closest to you, to this, your community, your friends and acquaintances, to this, to those you do not know or may not even like very well. And this is the practice. Every day, start at the center, top off your loving kindness tank, and then go spread the love. The practice does not end, ever. Just as a circle has no end, there is no end to your loving kindness meditation. You just do it again and again and again. After all, that's why they call it practice.
Hi kiddos of all ages at SMUUCh. Come join us for Time for All Ages. Today I want to talk to you about widening the circle. Our theme this month is widening the circle. And of course, we're not talking about an actual circle. We're talking about a circle of friends. The idea is that if we took all the people in your family or were your friends and drew a circle around you, your goal is to widen your circle, make it bigger so that more people can come in and feel a part of your group. For example, let's say your friends were mean to someone at school. You could widen your circle by inviting them to sit with you.
Let's say someone at your school was from a different country and didn't speak English. What are ways that you could widen your circle to include them? You might play a game that doesn't require speaking, like drawing or a race. You might choose them to be in a group so that they know that they have a friend. You might learn about their culture and show your appreciation of their holidays, customs, and language.
The world is full of people who are full of wisdom, intelligence, and beauty, more than we can ever know. So today, I want to widen the circle a little bit by teaching you about something very special that happens in February and sometimes happens in January. Not only is it Black History Month, which is a month where we concentrate our love and respect and educate ourselves on Black history, but it also today I want to widen your circle by teaching you about the Lunar New Year, also known as Spring New Year, a celebration that over 1 billion people in the world are celebrating this week.
Many cultures in Asia, as well as Jewish and Muslim calendars, are scheduled to follow the moon as it grows and disappears in the night sky. Do you love the moon? I do. Did you see the moon in the cold, clear winter sky last night? It was a beautiful little sliver.
Our calendar is based on the sun, but many cultures are actually based on the moon. In much of Asia, including China, Korea, Vietnam, and Singapore, the Jewish calendar and the Muslim calendar are all based around our beautiful luminescent moon.
Each year at the Lunar New Year celebration, it is said that we have to celebrate and enjoy life super hard in order to scare away a beast called Nian, which means year in Chinese. The beast of the years passing stalked cities and villages each spring, attacking people. Because Nian was afraid of loud noises and the color red, people used firecrackers and red paper to frighten the mythical creature. Fireworks are also common and are traditionally believed to drive away bad luck and spirits. They normally accompany large parades featuring dancing, floats, and costumes of lions and dragons. Some people clean their homes thoroughly, some hang lanterns and visit religious temples.
This Lunar New Year is the year of the tiger. The tiger embodies courage, bravery, resilience, strength, even in times of struggle, which we definitely need after the few years we've had. As we celebrate and honor this holiday, we do so from a space of appreciation, not appropriation. We must take the time to educate ourselves and each other on the history and traditions in order to maintain an inclusive and open community.
So this week, take time to notice if there are any ways you could learn and appreciate the cultures, traditions, opinions, experience, and trials of those who are around you.
This is the time in our order of service when we widen our circle, when we draw To our heart and mind, those in our midst who are suffering and those who feel the sweet relief of their burdens easing. Today, we think of those who feel that they are outside of the circle of love. Those who feel invisible, unlovable, strange, other. We draw to mind those who are strangers in a strange land, even those who come to our church and wonder if they themselves will be accepted or appreciated for their wondrousness. We think of those who walk in the footsteps of those who came before them and feel that their own feet may be ridiculed, confused for the feet of someone unlovable or wrong. To widen our circle now, I invite you to speak the name of someone who you know is suffering. This could be someone who you know very well, someone who you have only seen in an image. So I'll invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. We give our love to those untangling themselves from relationships that no longer serve them. We grieve for the loss of energy and time that chronic illness takes on the body and mind, and our hearts go out to all who are struggling to make ends meet, especially this time of year. We extend our gratitude to people who make caring for children their primary spiritual practice, and we join in wonder with all people who are bravely facing their final days. And as always, we rejoice over the exquisite beauty in the world, as small or life-changing as each piece of beauty might be. And now I invite you to share a joy or sorrow. I will light the candles as Jim reads them from the chat.
Jennifer is lighting a candle of concern for her family. Her father is in pain due to compressed discs, and her mother is in pain awaiting a hip replacement. Please send your warm thoughts to Jen. Alyssa is dealing with some health issues that are very concerning and is awaiting information on some recent blood work. Lois is doing the hard work to get her home ready for sale in the Ozarks and a move back to the Kansas City area. And Kevin and Jim light a candle of joy for the third birthday of their granddaughter, Charlie Beth, on Monday. And we light the remaining candles for those joys and sorrows that remain in the silent sanctuary of our hearts.
Please join me for silence followed by spoken word. I invite you once more to put your feet flat on the floor. Find length in your spine. Close your eyes. Let the corners of your lips turn up and go inward. I invite you to take deep breaths into your belly. As you breathe, I'm going to invite you to imagine a gem that is suspended right in the middle of your chest, halfway between your front and back. When you breathe in, it glows. When you breathe out, it dims. being connected to our heart space is a central part of loving kindness meditation. Just being present in the shape of your own body. Enjoying the ease that you have. Now we're going to do a little naming practice. I'd like you to take a second and name for yourself something that is sacred to you. What makes that little gem in you come alive? Is it music? Is it your people, the earth? Once you've got your one word, I'll just invite you to do a little breathing meditation, speaking that word in your mind's eye as you breathe in. And then lastly, I'll have you put both palms up like this. And you're going to take your one hand and you're going to write, even though it will leave no mark, that one word that is sacred to you on your other hand. You can put your hand over your heart. We'll do one last bit of loving kindness meditation. Please repeat after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. You may open your eyes. Blessed be, and amen. I invite you now to continue your state of reverie while we listen to our meditative hymn called Meditation on Breathing. What is sacred to you? How would you name what is sacred to you? Where do you see divinity moving in the world? What or who has agency to do sacred works in your mind? And in what instances do you feel the divine? These are important questions for us Unitarian Universalists to ask as we believe in the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We have the privilege and indeed sometimes the task of figuring out how and where our spirituality roams, where it rests, where it lives, where it burrows. We take up this spiritual work because we dare not fence the spirit. Because we believe actually that the spirit is like a goldfish. If you put it into a bowl, it'll grow this big. But if you put it into a lake, it will grow much larger. Thus, we have a practice in Unitarian Universalism called making a credo statement. This is a practice that leads us down a path of discernment about where and how the Spirit moves for us, because we do believe that each person is privileged to their own truth, and that this path of understanding your own spirituality is part of being a reverent being. This act of naming and shaping and drawing out the divine is actually rooted in a particular theology that I want to talk to you about today called process theology. Process theology is the idea, first, that the divine is relational, and second, that we are all in process, even the divine. Thus, when you write a credo statement, it acknowledges that there is a relationality. Your perspective, your lens, is part of your experience of the divine, and that we're all in process. We all get to name and rename what is sacred. We all get to be part of that free and responsible search for our entire lives. Now, the images that are around this process theology are very Buddhist, really. The images paint us on the edge of reality, tumbling through intersecting moment after intersecting moment. The process of becoming, unfolding before our very eyes, affirming and changed by our very presence in the matrix of life. That's the crux here. Process theology believes that the divine is affirmed and changed by our very presence in this matrix of life. That we are not only invited to watch as the world unfolds before our very eyes, but to actually know that we are an agent in the process, and that right there is the stuff. For as our opening words said, all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. Now today I want to talk on 3 different takes on process theology because there's been so much incredible literature that has come out recently on process theology. Specifically from Black theologians who speak to the idea that we are active participants in the creation, sustenance, and liberation of what is divine in this world. I bring this forward today because we are currently at so many junctions in our lives. So many changes and transitions are coming for us as a globe and are always happening in our own personal lives. And so I really want us to have some spiritual grounding in times of change, to give us some space where we feel that we can breathe spiritually and have agency while we are in process. Now, process theology itself was developed by a man named Alfred North Whitehead. His idea was based on the concept that the divine is fully involved and affected by time and space. He wrote a truly incomprehensible piece of theology that was so convoluted but brilliant that it had to be translated from English to English for the rest of us to understand. His basic take was that the character and the abilities of God were not as they are interpreted in mainline Christianity. Instead, he imagined the divine as not omnipotent in the sense of being coercive, but rather one who has a power of persuasion rather than force. Now, this is clearly reflected in the Jewish and Christian scriptures when read carefully, for in the Bible, the character of God has much more depth than they are given credit for. For throughout these books, God's self is actually moved by humanity's dedication to the land, moved by humanity's dedication to justice and to the beloved community. Yes, this God listens, grows, learns, changes their mind, and becomes enlightened through relationship with the earth and her people over time. I wonder, how does this idea of relational divinity sit with you? Check in for a second. How does it make you feel? How does it change the way you conceive of your present existence? Could you imagine that your theology could shape theos? What would it be like to become a theologian yourself? The goal, after all, to be enlightened to your own agency in this world, within this moment, to be an agent of shaping. Shaping. Shaping is the basis of author Octavia Butler's Earth Seed Theology, which is our second process theologian of today. Earth Seed Theology is present in Octavia Butler's Earth Seed trilogy. And this is an incredible piece of literature that comes alive in Afrofuturistic sci-fi. I'll read you some Earth Seed theology in a second, but I want to quickly point out that Afrofuturism itself is a demonstration of becoming this agent. For the school of science fiction has long been so dominated by white characters and authors that the implication, as we imagine the future, is that the future shall be white. Therefore, Afrofuturism is a school of theology and literature that aims to imagine Black people in the future, creating that world, imagining that world. So Butler's writing is an example of one person becoming a creative agent in the process of shaping a reality that reflects what is sacred to her through her writing. She is a theologian for sure. She says, as wind, as water, as fire, as life, God is both creative and destructive, demanding and yielding, sculptor and clay. God is infinite potential. God is change. I invite you to take a second to check in again. How does this sit with you? Sculptor and clay, demanding and yielding. In what ways are you sculptor and clay, demanding and yielding? Now, those were two theist takes, Butler and Whitehead. So finally, I want to bring you to the work of our last author, who is our only living theologian of today. She is a writer, a doula, an activist, a Black feminist who writes blogs, has podcasts, and for many years was the president of the Ruckus Society, which I believe we all are interested in being part of now that we know about it. She has a sense of humor, is jolly, and has completely changed the landscape of theology for my generation. Her name is Adrienne Marie Brown, and she has written many books, but the main one is entitled Emergent Strategy. Emerging strategies that come as the moments unfold through the intersecting messiness of the ever-coming process and shaping that comes and comes and comes. Her work speaks directly to the transitions that we face right now as a globe and a nation, and she encourages us to move towards the issues that humanity is facing with an embrace of emergent strategies and awareness of that process as part of what is sacred. So again, I invite you to listen one more time to this last reading. This is a mantra. So in the same vein of the loving kindness that we've been doing today, I invite you to one last time, find that space in your body, breathe deeply, and let these words flow over you. I am no victim to life. I shape change. We are not victims of circumstance. We shape change. I practice what I become. We practice what we want to create. I am a microcosm of all the possible justice, liberation, pleasure, and honesty in the universe, and I act accordingly. I remember that I exist only in relationship to other people and systems. I accept that I cannot change others, but I can hold standards for my own life. I willingly engage in and support transformative justice processes for accountability and getting into right relationship. I create more possibilities in the face of scarcity thinking. I act from and towards love. So just take a second to check in again. How does that sit with you? Is there an opening? Is there a shaping? Is there a changing? You may open your eyes. I now leave this work of theology up to you. You are a Unitarian Universalist or a seeker, and thus the work of theology and the work of divinity is truly in your hands. So much actually is in your hands, as you are the sculptor and the clay. And actually, so much does emerge from your very existence. Even you who feel outside the circle, even you who have been made to be outside the circle, those of you who are inside the circle, I ask you, where in your life could you be more open, more curious, more willing to reimagine a future where that which you know to be sacred can exist freely and in abundance? I invite you to think about that word you wrote on your hand, the very beginnings of your credo statement. Of course, we are here at SMUUCh to be part of this process for you, but for yourself and for those whose lives you touch, what could you shape? And in turn, how could that shape you? How could you practice in every unfolding, new blossoming moment what you want to become. Practice what we want to create. How could this very sermon be a moment of emergence? How could you dig deeper into the idea that you are an agent of the divine? How can you be more discerning of divinity? How could you live into yourself as the earth, as the clay, as the sculptor, you demanding, yielding? Blessed be, and amen.
The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. For information on giving online, just scroll down to the bottom of the description space in the video area. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values. Thank you so much for being with us today. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us in our hearts until we are together again.
Please enjoy our closing hymn, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." This week, I invite you to widen your circle, whether that means doing loving kindness meditation, including someone in your circle when you meet them in real life, or widening your own feeling of agency in the divine. Go in peace.